Not guilty.
ASAP Rocky made a grand gesture after he was found not guilty on 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm on February 18th. The 36-year-old jumped over the courtroom gallery to hug his longtime partner Rihanna, who emotionally wrapped her arms around him after the clerk read the verdict.
We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Rakim Mayers, not guilty of the
The jury unanimously found the rapper, whose real name is Rakim Mayers, not guilty after he was accused of shooting at his former friend, rapper Terell Ephron, on a Hollywood street in 2021. If he was found guilty, ASAP could have faced up to 24 years in prison. Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan J. Hochman released a statement following the verdict, which read in part, quote, "While today's verdict is not the outcome we sought, we respect the jury's decision and the integrity of our justice system. Our office remains committed to seeking accountability for those who break the law, no matter their status or influence. Fame does not place anyone above the law, and we will not waver in our pursuit of justice for victims and the community." Outside the courtroom, ASAP's lawyer, Joe Tacopina, spoke to reporters and commented on the grand gesture the rapper did after the verdict was read.
I didn't realize how athletic he was. He, in a single leap, went over the jury box. But I mean, the spectator row. Look, that was raw emotion. That was happiness. You know, there was a moment where, before we heard the words from the clerk, you know, he didn't know if he was going to be spending the next 2 decades in jail or going home. And so when you hear those words, obviously, you know, I know how he was feeling. We've been in communication the last few hours. And there's a lot on the line. He has 2 little children. He's got a beautiful wife, and he's got a family. And so that was raw emotion. You guys got to see that. And, you know, it was, even for us, I mean, it was insane. So it was just very, very satisfying. Well, they promised their 3rd kid would be named ASAP Joe. So that's as far as I know. I'm kidding. You know, what's next is they're going to move on. I mean, they have a lot of great things professionally to do. You know, Rocky's really at the height of his career. He's worked with Gucci, he's worked with Puma, he's got a lot of things going. Obviously, Rihanna is on top of the world, and they have 2 beautiful, beautiful children, and they have a family. And you saw them come together. And, you know, I took offense to the prosecutor, Lewin, saying that they manufactured some sort of appearance of a family in his summation. But I think the jury obviously took offense to that, too. They're a family, and they were a family, and that's why she was here to support him, and that's why his kids came. He doesn't know when he's going to see them again, and if this didn't go well for him, not that I thought it wasn't going to, you know, so it was just beautiful to see. You know, that's what we do. You know, we work hard, and these trials are hard, and they tax us, and you don't sleep. But at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. That's why I went to law school. That's why he went to law school. So you see this, and it makes it all worthwhile. Dude, he was way calmer than I was. I mean, he was calming me down. So, like, I was more anxious and nervous. I mean, but that's always the way it is for me. You know, when something so important is about to happen. So he was really calm, cool, and collected. At the end, obviously, when that jury started piling in, and, you know, you can't read anyone's faces. You know, there was a tension that he said, "I can't breathe," and I said, "Neither can I." So that makes 2 of us. And, you know, Chad and I've been together 22 years. I know how he feels. So it's just a moment of incredible angst. But when you have something like this happen, it makes it all worthwhile. It's great. The key evidence, the fact that there was no evidence. I think that was the key evidence. I think relying on Terell Ephron for any matter of importance in your life, a decision on a matter of importance in your life would not be possible for anyone with a brain. And the jury clearly understood that argument. And then when I pointed out to the jury that I got Detective Flores, their lead detective, to say without Ephron's testimony, there's no evidence of a shooting, one way or another, that could be or that cannot be. That really was it. You know, I left 10 questions for John Lewin to answer. He didn't even look at one. And those were 10 important questions, including number 9, which was, without Ephron's testimony, as the prosecutor asked, Detective Flores acknowledge that there's not enough evidence in this case to say that definitively there was a shooting. So I was surprised he didn't touch those questions, but I knew he couldn't answer them, and that's why I put him up there. So anyway, I think that's why the jury came. And look, it was a quick verdict, right? I mean, they started almost 10 o'clock. They had a lunch break. They watched the video, and they had a verdict. So, yeah, for a basically 4-week trial, when I heard there was a verdict, I felt pretty good. Not so overly confident because you just never know, but I felt pretty good. I've been here for over a month, and just me walking around, I'm not him, right? People were just wishing me luck for him. I mean, he's loved, very well loved in this city, and I think, he's got a lot of fans. And that doesn't happen because he's a singer. It happens because who he is as a person. A lot of what this jury didn't hear was who ASAP really is, who ASAP Rocky is as a person. He does incredible charity work. He gives back to the community. He's become a dear friend of mine, more than a client. And that's why cases like this are really difficult for me, because there's so much on the line. I mean, I care about every client I represent to the point where they become family. This was at a different level, and so I was just not prepared for. I would not accept any other verdict than this one. He and I have bonded over the last 3 years in a way that, and he's just a different person. I attribute that to him, the way he conducts himself, the way he's so appreciative with us, the way he is with his. I mean, I spent time with him and Rihanna at their house, and they're just, as humble and as can be for people with that level of success. They are really sweet, good people, and I would have been really, really hurting if this didn't go the right way. But, thank God that jury, we had a great jury.
Speaking of family, do you think the jury seeing ASAP with Rihanna as a family man and their children helped his defense?
No, I don't think that helped his defense at all. Look, everyone knows he had Rihanna. Everyone knows he has 2 kids, sorry. I mean, I don't think the jury was like, all right, we think he's guilty, but look at the kids. I mean, so that's, I'm glad the prosecution focused on that in their summation. We didn't. The evidence in this case was deficient. I think that they need to be going after Terell Ephron. As I've always said, he was an extortionist. He was someone who we showed committed extortion. The tape that one of you all said was really good for the prosecution that we brought in turned out not to be so good for the prosecution. It was him repeating the same story that he'd repeated since day one. But what it had on there was, 1, him committing perjury to this jury, and 2, him acknowledging he wanted $30 million and he disappeared to an island. That's called extortion. For what? To get his $697 he has in his bank account? Even though, if you look on Instagram, he's a billionaire. But, I'm not suing Relly. I have other things in life to do. He sued us. And after today, I don't think that's going so well. So, but anyway, look, I'm just happy the jury came to the right conclusion swiftly. Who knows what made a difference? I mean, that jury, they're able to speak to you guys if they want to. I don't know if they're going to. Both ways the gun wasn't presented, right? Our gun, the gun that Rocky actually had, the prop, or the gun that the prosecution said he had wasn't produced. So I think it's a wash, so to speak. I think the jurors had to go on the evidence that they had, right? They can't speculate. They had evidence in this case. Most of the incriminating evidence came from the words of someone who's, as I said, whose tongue is a stranger to the truth. Is an admitted perjurer, admitted liar. So I just don't think any jury could embrace that. And if you can't believe Terell Ephron in this case, you can't convict. It was that simple. Yeah, I think that was a great bonding experience for them personally. I mean, I've known them for a while. Rihanna is an amazing woman, strong woman, and she obviously was there to support him. She'd always been in touch with me throughout the process to make sure things were going well, and privately wanted reassurance. But she was here. Wild Horse, Rocky did not want her here. I will tell you that. I think I said it to you in the beginning. He did not want her here. He wanted to shield her from this. Wild horses couldn't keep her away. So, this you go through something like this as a family, it brings you closer. It's a bonding experience, and they're just 2 special people. So I can't imagine this has been anything but a life-altering experience for them.